In this video, I will try to provide you some motivation to study econometrics. So why should you study econometrics? Well, the obvious reason is that econometrics is a part of your university curriculum and now you have no other option but to study it. However, the second reason, which is also an interesting reason, is that if you study econometrics properly, then you will be able to apply it in many real-life applications. So let's understand what is econometrics. If we talk about the definition, then this is one of the ways to define it. Econometrics is concerned with quantifying economic relationships using techniques of estimation and statistical inference. So this is the definition that we have. Now in this definition, there are three things you need to focus on. The first thing is that in this definition, we are talking about some relationships. So the first question that we have to address is, where do these relationships come from? The second thing is, in this definition, we are talking about quantifying the relationships. So the second question that we have to address is that why is quantification of relationships important? And the third question that we have to address is that what is the procedure to achieve this? So let me answer these questions one by one. So let's start with the first question. The first question is, where do these relationships come from? Well, the relationships that we are talking about in this particular definition, they come from some formal economic theory or informal reasoning and introspection. So let me give you an example to make you understand this. So from the economic theory, we know that the quantity demanded of good X is a function of these four variables. So the quantity demanded is a function of the price. It is a function of the price of substitutes, price of complements, and level of income. And from the economic theory, we already have some idea of the direction of the relationship between these variables. So for example, let's see what does economic theory tells us about the relationship between price of good X and quantity demanded of good X. So if good X is an ordinary good, and if we assume that the other variables are constant in the background, then as per the economic theory, the price of the good X and the quantity demanded of good X have a negative relationship. So the direction of the relationship between these two variables is negative. Similarly, we can also talk about the relationship between quantity demanded of good X and price of substitutes of good X. So as per the economic theory, if we keep the other variables constant, then the quantity demanded of good X and price of substitutes of good X have a positive relationship. Similarly, as per the economic theory, we know that the quantity demanded of good X and the price of complements of good X have a negative relationship, and quantity demanded of good X and income have a positive relationship. So basically the point that I'm trying to make over here is that the economic theory tells us everything about the direction of the relationship. And by direction, I mean whether the variables have a positive relationship or a negative relationship. So this is something that economic theory gives us, and these are the relationships that we are talking about in the definition of econometrics. Okay, so I hope this has answered the first question, that where do these relationships come from? Well, as you can see in this example, the relationships are coming from the economic theory. In some cases, they can also come from some informal reasoning or introspection. So now let's move to the second question that we have. Why is quantification important? To make you understand the importance of quantification, I'm only working with two variables over here. So I'm only working with quantity demanded and the price of the good. As we know from the economic theory, if the good X is an ordinary good, then the price of good X and the quantity demanded of good X are going to have a negative relationship, keeping other variables constant. And by negative relationship, I mean that if the price of good X increases, then the quantity demanded of good X will go down. Okay. So now let's take an example to understand this point. So let's say there is a businessman and he's confused about a particular decision. So he wants to increase his total revenue and total profit, and he's thinking whether he should decrease the price of his product or not. And let's say this businessman comes to you to take your advice. And being an economics student, let's say this is what you reply. So you tell the businessman that as per the economic theory, price and quantity demanded have an inverse relationship. So if you decrease the price, then people will buy more of our product. So basically you are telling the businessman the law of demand, and for the sake of convenience, let's assume that the other variables are not changing in the background. Okay, so those variables are not creating any issue. Let's also assume that the good that this businessman is selling is actually an ordinary good and it is not a giffen good. Okay, and in this scenario, this is the advice that you are giving to him, that he should actually decrease the price of the product because that is going to increase the quantity demanded. So basically, being an economic student, you are trying to use the economic theory in a practical scenario. Let's see what we achieve from here. So I have written two situations over here. In situation number 1, the price of the good is $100 and the quantity demanded is 50 units. If the price goes down from $100 to $90, then the quantity demanded increases from 50 units to 51 units. Okay, so this is situation number 1. In situation number 2, once again, to start with, the price is $100 and the quantity demanded is 50 units. And when the price decreases from $100 to $90, the quantity demanded increases from 50 units to 60 units. Now see, when businessman came to you for the advice, you said that if he reduces the price of the product, then the quantity demanded is going to increase. So at this stage, irrespective of which situation happens, you must be feeling really happy because this is exactly what you told the businessman as per the economic theory. However, there is a catch over here. The businessman was considering to reduce the price of the product because he wanted to increase its quantity demanded, he wanted to increase the revenue, and he wanted to increase the profit. Over here, if I reveal the figures now, then take a look at situation number 1. In situation number 1, initially the revenue was $5,000 and after reducing the price, the revenue decreased from $5,000 to $4,590. And clearly this is something businessman is not going to be happy about. So if you take a look at the situation number 1, though the quantity demanded has increased, but the revenue has decreased. On the other hand, if you take a look at the situation number 2, the quantity demanded has increased, but at the same time, the total revenue has also increased from 5,000 to 5,400. So from the businessman's perspective, he wants to be in situation number 2 and not in situation number 1. And this is where the economic theory does not help you. Basically, the economic theory only tells you the direction of the relationship, but you cannot take major decisions only on the basis of the direction of the relationship. You need some sort of quantification to see how the variables are related. Only then you can take sensible decisions. And this is the same thing that is happening over here. So basically in situation number 1, when we decrease the price from 100 to 90, the quantity demanded did not respond much. This means that good X has an inelastic demand, and when you have an inelastic demand, then decreasing the price of the product is not a good strategy. On the other hand, in situation number 2, when you decrease the price, the quantity demanded increased a lot. It increased by 10 units. So it seems like that in situation number 2, the good is an elastic good. And if you're dealing with an elastic good, then reducing the price could turn out to be a really good strategy. So before you give any sort of advice to businessman, you need to figure out what is the relationship between price and quantity demanded. So basically you need to figure out that if you are going to change the price, then by how many units the quantity demanded is going to change. So you have to figure out a particular number which is going to relate price and quantity demanded, because only on the basis of the quantification you will be able to figure out whether you're going to end up with situation number 1 or situation number 2, and that can actually make a lot of difference. So I hope this example has given you some sort of clarity regarding why is quantification important. So once again, the crux of the story is that you can get the direction of the relationship from the economic theory. You can also get the direction of the relationship from some informal reasoning or introspection, but the direction of the relationship is not going to help you in taking major decision. If you want to take good decisions, then you definitely need to quantify the relationship between variables. Okay. Now let's move to the third question that we have. The third question is that what is the procedure to quantify the relationship between the variables? So as written over here, in the procedure, we collect the data and then we use that data to estimate economic relationships. And once we are done with the estimation exercise, we also do some hypothesis testing. And this is exactly what you're going to learn in this course. So basically, we are going to understand how to quantify the relationship between two variables using sample data, and what are the things you need to take care of to make sure that the quantification that you are doing is sensible. In fact, in the beginning of this course, we are also going to put certain assumptions to set up the framework, and then at a later stage in econometrics, we validate those assumptions one by one to see that how the framework is changing. So basically, there is a lot that is going to happen, and for this, we need an econometric model. So this is all for this video. I hope this video achieved its purpose and provided you some motivation to start studying econometrics.